everyone. It is Thankful Thursday. I know I said I was going to come on here every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, I have yet to do that. Now, I have been dedicated to coming on here every Thursday. It's only been 2 Thursdays that I've started this, but those 2 Thursdays I showed up. Now, I did not show up at the appointed time, but I showed up at the time that God allowed me. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm going to once again put forth significant effort into showing up on next Thursday at exactly 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But nonetheless, I am here today, and it is 10 after 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the great state of Georgia, where I'm located. And I apologize for not showing up at the appointed time, but I really don't think too many of you know that I'm doing this. So I'll have to show up and see and prove myself wrong. But if you were here at 9 a.m., I'm sorry. Accept my sincerest apologies. But I'm here now. So from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about how to trust God. Trusting God even when it's difficult, even when we don't see a way. Trusting, how to truly trust God and why it matters. And I want to start off by talking about how scary it can be to trust God when we don't know what's going on. And I know I'm not the only person, but I'm going to ask this anyway. Have you ever been in a situation where the only thing you could do was trust God? The only thing you could do was just put all your faith into God and his plan. Where you had exhausted all means, there was nothing you could do, nothing at all, but trust God. And it's scary, it's difficult. It is very, very, like, one of the scariest things you can do is to trust God, especially when you are stressed out, when you are nervous about the outcome, when you don't know how you're going to make it through the next 24 hours, when something that is a life necessity is dependent on it, whether you don't know if you're going to have something to eat, whether you don't know if you're going to have a roof over your head, where you don't know if you're going to have a way to work, and you don't know if you're going to get the money to pay this light bill, if you're going to have electricity. How hard is it during that time to just fully put your faith in God and to trust him to come up with something that's going to get you out of that situation? Have any of you ever had to deal with that? I have. I have had to, in times, all those times I just mentioned, not knowing if I'm going to get this job I need, not knowing how I'm going to pay the phone bill, not knowing if I'm going to have enough gas money, not knowing if I'm going to have something to eat, not knowing if the rent is going to be late. And if it's already late, when will I get the money to be able to pay it? Am I going to get the money to pay the rent? Will I get evicted? In those moments, how hard is it to always just fully put your trust and faith in God? Now, for me, it's very hard. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's scary. It's not easy. But what I have learned and being in those situations more than once, what I've learned is that God always shows up. He always comes through. He always provides me with what I need when I need it. Not a moment too soon, nor a moment too late. And this verse from Proverbs 3, chapter 3, verses 5 through 6. And it talks about leaning not on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will guide and direct your path. And so when we get to that point to where we have to fully, completely trust God and surrender to his will, it's because for whatever reason, a lot of us feel as though we know everything. Some of us feel as though we actually know more than God. And trusting the process includes trusting God fully, 100%. And when we trust him, we have to realize that God sees the full picture where we only see our vantage point. When we remember that God is all knowing, he's he knows everything. He's omnipresent, omniscient. I can't pronounce it, but y'all know the word I'm talking about. Omniscient. Let's see. Omniscient. He knows everything. So he's omnipresent, omniscient, whereas we are not. So a lot of that fear that we have when it comes to trusting God, I would say about maybe 100% of it is wrapped up in the fact that we don't know. It's the unknown that scares us. Not knowing what the outcome is going to be, not knowing what is coming our way, not knowing how we're going to get past it, not knowing how God is going to show up for us, not knowing when he's going to show up. And because we don't know and we're limited in our knowledge, it's scary. It is scary. But then you have to ask yourself, why am I scared to trust God? Why is it so scary for me to trust God who has promised me he will never forsake me? He will never leave me. Why does that scare you? And that's a question you should ask yourself. That's a question all of us should ask ourselves. If we're having a hard time trusting God and it's that fear of the unknown, but if you know God the way that he wants us to know him, in that intimate way where we know without a shadow of a doubt he's there for us, then we have nothing to fear. The thing that we should fear the most is the trick of the enemy, where he gets us to the point of fear. Because there's another verse that says faith and fear can't reside in the same place. And let me look that up to just quote it correctly. But yeah, faith and fear cannot live in the same place. Fear is the absence of faith. Because if you have that faith, you know, no matter what is going on, no matter everything around you, you're steadfast in it. And it takes a strong level of faith to be steadfast. To know that despite every single thing that's going on in the world around me, the chaos within me, the doubt, the fear, the just the double-mindedness, but to still put that trust in God, it takes a lot. And when we let that fear overwhelm us, we are letting the enemy have more power over us than our Lord. And now we're feeding into the enemy and what he has said. Even though we know the devil is a lie, we know it. You know the devil is a lie. Everything you've experienced, and to even be at this point, to bear witness to the words I'm saying, is proof to you that the devil is a lie. God's promise is real. Because you wouldn't be in this moment if God had forsaken you. You right here alive, listening to this, witnessing this, experiencing this moment is proof of God's faithfulness. So anything the enemy is telling you is not true, but some of us, we get so far down. And this comes from our limited understanding, where we start to lean not on our own understanding, but instead of leaning and trusting God, we take on what we can take on. And we aren't made to bear a heavy burden, not to the point where it causes us to lose hope, to lose faith, and to doubt what God is saying. Once you get to that point where you don't even remember what God is telling you, you don't believe it, you don't hear it, you don't understand it, you don't take heed to it, you have given the enemy power. And the enemy has only the power we give him. That's like with a fire. When you take away the oxygen, it dies. When you give that energy to doubt and fear, you grow it. The only way to extinguish it and to get rid of it is to ignore it, act like it doesn't exist. You cannot feed into it. Whatever you feed grows. Just like if I sit here and feed myself, I'm going to grow. If I feed fear, that fear is going to grow. But if I feed my faith, it grows. If I feed into the promises of God, it grows. It grows to the point where that's all I want. That's all I need. That's all I need to sustain me. That's all it takes is that faith. And so for me to continuously feed that faith, I got to say no to the fear. I can't, when that fear shows up and say, no, I don't want you. I'm full of faith. I'm so full of faith. I have no room for fear. Like I'm stuffed with faith. Oh my gosh. I mean, and I love it so much. I'm a gluttony for faith. I can't take no more. The fear, no. I don't want you on my plate. My plate is full of faith. I don't need it. And when you get to that level of fullness, because when you have that full faith, you're full of God. You're full of the Lord. You're full of his word. You're full of his promise. You're full of everything he wants you to know. To all the words, all his promises, you're full of it. And so anytime that enemy comes with that negativity, with that doubt, you don't even have room for it because your faith has you consumed. And it's hard for that fear to penetrate when you have that wall of faith around you. You're full of faith. You're just overcome with faith. It doesn't know what to do. It's going to go through people to come and say, why are you doing this? You know that's not going to work out. They're trying to get into you, that negativity. It can come through something you see on TV where it disturbs your spirit. You're watching this negative stuff. It could come with the temptation to eat something that's not healthy that will throw it. It can come in so many forms. But when you're full of faith, when you are just so full, like you're bursting at the seams, you don't have any, there's no room for it to enter. You're blocking it. And then also, when you're that full of faith, that stuff that comes, you spot it instantly because it doesn't belong. It doesn't fit anywhere. It's so out of the norm of what you've surrounded yourself with. It doesn't fit in. It's out of order. So if I'm full of faith and this little negative piece comes over here, it doesn't fit over here with my joy. It doesn't fit with my peace, my happiness. It doesn't get along with that. There's no room for it. And all those things bind together. It's like, no, you're not needed here. You're not wanted here. We're full. There's no room for you over here. You got to take that somewhere else. And it confuses the enemy. And it's going to go to the back and try to squeeze a way in. But guess what? Where there's peace, joy, happiness, you got contentment. Oh, I'm good over here. I don't need you. I'm content. I'm happy. I'm full of peace and love and joy. It'll go over to the side and it's like, no, I've got secureness over here. I'm secure in my peace, my happiness, my joy. It's going to come and hit you in so many ways. But because you are full of everything that comes with faith, there's no way in. no way in. And the thing about it is, even if there's a little crack, because the way water is, if there's a tiny crack, water can get in there. And that's why you have to be so full of faith, because we don't want any cracks, no space. We can't give an inch to the enemy to let them invade us. And that's the thing with the water. It gets into those spaces. One little drop of water can create mold that spreads everywhere. And that's all it takes is for the enemy to get one little thing, and that little doubt. Because the same way there's a seed, mustard seed of faith, there's a seed of doubt that can come into you. And it could start off so small. And an example I can use is, for me anyway, I'll wake up, I'm feeling good, and I'll look in the mirror. I love my skin, it's glowing. I like my outfit. My hair is doing what it's supposed to do. And I feel good about myself. I'll go outside, walking down the street, I'm smiling, I'm at the grocery store, I'm getting gas. Air. It's a beautiful day that the Lord has made, and I am enjoying it. I'm smiling at everyone. I'm listening to the birds. The fresh air feels good. And one person can say one thing that will throw all that off. Now, mind you, it could be a stranger. And 9 times out of 10, it is a stranger. And this happened to me. I'm walking into the grocery store, smiling. I waved, because I'm feeling good. And that's the thing. I'll get back to that later. But I'm feeling good. I walk in. Some random man. I didn't even know who he was. I said, "Hey there, how you doing?" "I ain't doing good. Don't be smiling at me, saying nothing to me. You look crazy walking around grinning." I was like, "What?" And I didn't say nothing else. And then he was like, "With your big headed self." Now, I have been told I have a big head. And my husband has told me, I've heard this throughout the years. And so I've just learned to live with it. And for the most part, I didn't even believe him. I'm like, "You just saying that." But I've heard it so much, it's like, well, maybe my head is big. Who knows? Either way, I don't care. I love it. This is the head God gave me. There's nothing I can do about it. So when he told me that, it really struck a nerve, because then after I heard him say my head is big, then I went in the store, came back out, I looked at them in the mirror. Then I started looking at every other thing. Well, dang, is my nose big? Wow, I thought I was looking good, but this stranger said my head is huge. So now I'm second. He talked about my head, but now I'm thinking about everything else. And that one little remark from someone who I don't even know, never saw again, probably will never run into, he was able to sow that seed of doubt that led me to become so insecure and self-conscious of all these other things that I hadn't even thought about. And that's how it works. But when you get so full of that, you're able to surround it and shut it down. And another example I can give you, I'm not going to get into that, but him telling me that, it made me feel, it almost ruined my day. But then I had to remember that happy people ain't hating, and hating people ain't happy. The fact that he said that to me when I was having a great day, I knew instantly something is wrong with this guy. He's not happy. He doesn't have joy or peace. Something is going on. And I realized that his anger, his frustration, his dissatisfaction with life in general has nothing to do with me. This is something he feels within himself, and I'm just the person he's projecting that onto at that very moment. He doesn't know me, so he can't be mad at me. I just met you like 2 seconds ago, so there is nothing I have done besides say hi to you that will rub you to the point where I've ruined your entire day. And those are the things you have to think about. A lot of times we will take on the emotions of others. We will let them project their negative experiences, their negative emotions and feelings onto us. And it's not for us to carry. What I've learned is I recognize it for what it is and I don't internalize it. I don't make it personal. It lets me know, something is going on, and I pray for them because they need it, because they're not happy, they're upset, and there's something that's bothering them that, I may never know, probably won't ever know, but all I do know is not me specifically. And I can't take that on and let it ruin my day. And it took me a while to get to that point. But that's a trick of the enemy. That's how, the same way we can spread love, spread joy, misery loves company. It does. It does. The energy, all that stuff, it is contagious. But you have to be aware and be conscious of, do I want to spread negativity? Do I want to be a conductor of positivity, of love, of just, joy and everything? Because to know God is to know love. And that's something that's very, very, very deep. You cannot say you love the Lord, but you don't love his creations. Because we are created from him. We are him. So you can't love God, but not love everything that comes from God. So, I thank you all for watching. Mama, hello, Mama. It's good to see you, Mama. I'm glad you could join, Mama. I'm glad you are here, Mama. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And thank you all for watching. Mike, you said hi earlier. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Yes, Mama, yes. Yes, Mama, yes. But I hope you all are having a thankful Thursday. And I am sure you all have so many things to be thankful for. And I wanted to start this because I said I have Facebook Fridays, Faithful Fridays on Facebook, but I'm kind of leaning away from Facebook. I want to build up YouTube, so please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love it and appreciate it so much. I'm almost there, so with your help, hit that subscribe button. But I'm going to be on here every Thursday. The goal is 9 a.m., so I'm going to try again next week to be here at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I'm here now, so thank you all. And if you haven't done so, subscribe. And you can follow me on all social media platforms at I am Jamila Naila. I have a lot of things that are coming that I'm setting in motion. And I want to become more active here on YouTube. And so you're going to start seeing more videos of me, more lives. I'm going to start just recording every single thing I do because it's time. I've been saying I'm going to do this, and I read a post earlier that really struck a chord with me. It said, last Tuesday, you said next Monday. A year ago, you said in January. In January, you said in March. It's March now. What are you waiting on? And it was like, there are so many things I've been putting off and saying, I'll start this on this day. Even today, I ate some fried chicken. I said I'm going to start eating salads on Monday. And so I was thinking, you know what? Let me just start the salads tomorrow, Friday. But then I was like, well, start them now. I'm not, because I already got my fried chicken, so I'm going to eat it. But tomorrow I'll start. And we should live in the moment. And I wanted to do the Thankful Thursdays because I have so much to be thankful for. So many ways God has blessed me. So many opportunities he's given me. And I'm just very grateful for it. And so I want us to always be intentional about how blessed we are. Yeah, there are some difficult times we all experience. We have setbacks, things that we are confused by, things we don't understand. But overall, God is good, very good to us. God is great. And the little things that we take for granted are some of our biggest blessings. And so I do my journaling where every day I have a moment of gratitude. And I started this years ago. And what it does for me is it really puts into perspective how good life is for me. One thing that I forgot where I learned it, but it says, the best way to turn a bad day into a great day is to list down every single thing you are grateful for, every blessing you have, every single thing. I thank God that I woke up. I thank God that I have my teeth that I can brush. Some people don't have teeth. You take that for granted. But like I was talking about that fried chicken, when you want to chew some chicken or steak, you wish you would have some teeth. That's something you can be thankful for. The fact that I have a cell phone, it may not be the latest version, but I'm still able to get on here and go live. Every single thing. The glasses I have. I remember when I couldn't even afford it. I didn't have the insurance. Now I have 3 pairs of glasses. When you start to take inventory of everything you have, you realize you have more than what you're lacking. And that is something that we can all be thankful for. And when you list it out and you actually see how good God has been to you, you will start to, kind of think, dang, I'm sitting here upset because I don't have this, but I have all of this. And when you put it out there, it goes with, when you do a budget, you start to see what you're spending your money on. It's like, wow, I didn't know so much was going towards this, or I was spending so much money on that. The same thing goes with your blessings. I did not know how blessed I am. Wow. And so that's why I do these Thankful Thursdays, to remind us that no matter what is going on, we have a lot to be thankful for. And the more you are grateful, the more God gives you to be grateful. The more things God blesses you with. So if you are feeling blessed beyond measure with what you have, whatever else you get is going to be just something extra. And so every Thursday I'll be here. And Benjamin Lewis, I guess, thank you so much. God bless you. And Donna, hi Donna. Thank you for watching. Make sure you all like this video and subscribe. I'm going to be doing this every single Thursday. And not just this, but, just showing you how God moves throughout my life. So you'll come with me as I do some things, just show you and introduce Jamila Naila to you as a whole, because I want you all to get to know me. And make sure also the journals I was talking about, I have some of those available on my website at iamjamilanaila.com. Check them out and start your gratitude journaling. Start to, just take inventory of every great thing God has blessed you with. And you'll be surprised at some of the things you forgotten about. Because a lot of times, we pray for things and God blesses us with it and we move on to something else, not realizing, like, I remember I prayed for that. That was a prayer. And now it's answered. And now it's here. I prayed for that job. I have it. I prayed for that house. I have it. I prayed for the car. I have it. I prayed for him to take that stress away. It's gone. I prayed for me to be able to get rid of that pain. He gave me this specialist who helped me with it. I prayed that my kids would, get back on track. They're doing great right now. I pray for peace of mind. I'm not worried about anything. Everything you've prayed for, God has answered those prayers in his own perfect timing. So remember to trust God and don't lean on your own understanding, because we don't know everything, but God knows the beginning from the end to the beginning. He knows how everything is going to play out, and he has already orchestrated it because it's his will. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great Thursday night. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Stay safe. God bless. And be sure to subscribe. Thank you.